Have you ever looked at the plate in front of you and wondered if the food you eat every single day might be quietly helping your body or slowly wearing it down without you realizing it? For millions of people across the United States, especially those over 50, the answer may be hiding in one of the most familiar foods on the table, rice. And here is the uncomfortable truth many people never hear until much later when the kidneys begin to weaken. The warning signs are often silent. There is no sharp pain, no dramatic signal telling you something is wrong. Instead, the body whispers. You feel more tired than usual. Your ankles begin to swell slightly by evening. You wake up 2 or 3 times a night to use the bathroom. And all the while, your kidneys may be working harder and harder just to keep your blood clean. What makes this even more surprising is that the type of rice you eat every day can quietly change how much pressure your kidneys face. Some varieties can increase the workload on these delicate filtration organs over time, while others may actually help reduce that burden and allow the body to maintain a calmer internal balance. Most people never think about this difference. They simply eat what is familiar, never realizing that a small change in something as ordinary as rice could influence their energy, their comfort, and even the long-term stress placed on their kidneys. My name is Dr. Mark Ellis, and over the years I've spoken with many patients who were shocked to discover that the foods they believed were harmless staples could either support their kidneys or slowly strain them. The encouraging news is that you don't need complicated diets or extreme restrictions to start protecting your kidneys. Sometimes the most meaningful improvements begin with simple everyday choices. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through 3 types of rice that may be gentler on the kidneys and easier for the body to process, including one that many people already have in their kitchen, but almost always prepare the wrong way. And by the time you reach the 3rd one, you may start looking at the rice on your plate in a completely different way. Let's begin with the rice that almost everyone believes they should avoid the moment kidney problems appear: white rice. For years, it has been labeled as unhealthy, stripped of nutrients, and something people trying to eat clean should eliminate. But when we look at kidney health specifically, the story becomes far more interesting. During the milling process, the outer bran layers of rice are removed. Those layers contain fiber, yes, but they also contain much of the potassium and phosphorus naturally present in whole grains. And this detail matters more than most people realize. When kidneys are strong, they filter these minerals easily. But when kidney function begins to decline, the body may struggle to keep potassium and phosphorus balanced in the bloodstream. According to renal nutrition guidelines used in many hospitals across the United States, people with reduced kidney function are often advised to choose foods that are lower in these minerals in order to reduce filtration stress. That's where white rice quietly becomes helpful. Instead of forcing the kidneys to constantly process high mineral loads, it provides simple, usable energy with far less metabolic pressure. I remember one patient in particular, let's call him Robert. In his early 60s, Robert had just learned that his kidney numbers were starting to change. The first thing he did was cut rice out completely because he believed it was harmful. Within a few weeks, something unexpected happened. His meals became heavier, digestion slowed, and he began feeling tired after eating. When his dietitian suggested bringing back moderate portions of plain white rice paired with vegetables and lean protein, the difference surprised him. His meals felt lighter, his stomach felt calmer, and he finally had a stable source of energy that didn't leave him feeling weighed down. The reason is surprisingly simple. White rice is easy for the body to digest. When food breaks down smoothly, the digestive system spends less energy processing it, and the body can focus more on essential tasks, like maintaining fluid balance and filtering waste through the kidneys. For people who already feel fatigued or bloated, this gentle digestion can make a noticeable difference. Of course, this does not mean white rice should be eaten carelessly. In fact, the biggest problem isn't the rice itself, it's how people eat it. Large portions of rice covered in salty sauces, processed seasonings, or heavy oils can quickly increase sodium levels, which puts additional strain on the kidneys. Over time, excessive sodium can contribute to fluid retention and swelling in the legs, and higher blood pressure, all factors that make kidney function more difficult. This is why the healthiest way to enjoy white rice is surprisingly simple. A moderate serving rinsed well before cooking, paired with lightly cooked vegetables, garlic herbs, and a small portion of lean protein like fish or chicken. Meals like this provide energy, satisfaction, and balance without overwhelming the body's filtration system. When eaten thoughtfully, white rice becomes less of a problem and more of a stable foundation for kidney-conscious meals. But here's where the conversation becomes even more interesting. While white rice can reduce mineral pressure on the kidneys, there is another type of rice that may help the body maintain even steadier energy and blood sugar levels, and that difference can quietly influence how hard the kidneys have to work throughout the day. And that brings us to the next rice most people completely overlook. Now that we've talked about white rice and why it can reduce mineral pressure on the kidneys, there's another variety that many nutrition experts quietly consider even more balanced for everyday meals: basmati rice. At first glance, it looks like any other long-grain rice, but what makes basmati interesting is how the body processes it. Compared with many other types of white rice, basmati tends to have a lower glycemic index, which means it releases glucose into the bloodstream more slowly. That small difference can have a surprisingly large impact on the body. When blood sugar spikes rapidly after a meal, the body must release large amounts of insulin to bring it back down. Over time, repeated spikes can damage tiny blood vessels, including the delicate microvessels inside the kidneys that help filter waste from the blood. Researchers studying metabolic health have repeatedly found that stable blood sugar helps protect these filtration structures, especially in people already managing early kidney stress or metabolic conditions. To understand why this matters in daily life, think about how you feel after different kinds of meals. Some meals leave you energized and clear-headed, while others make you feel heavy, sleepy, or bloated within an hour. One of my patients, Maria, a retired teacher in her late 50s, noticed this difference immediately. She told me that whenever she ate large portions of regular rice, she felt sluggish afterward. But when she switched to smaller portions of basmati rice paired with vegetables and grilled fish, her energy stayed stable throughout the afternoon. She wasn't eating less food overall. She was simply choosing a version that the body could process more gradually. That slower digestion allowed her metabolism to remain calm instead of constantly jumping between sugar highs and crashes. From a scientific perspective, this steady release of energy can reduce metabolic stress on the body. Studies in nutrition and kidney health show that maintaining consistent blood sugar levels helps protect small blood vessels, including those responsible for filtering toxins from the bloodstream. When these tiny vessels stay healthy, the kidneys can perform their job more efficiently over time. That's why many kidney-conscious diets emphasize foods that digest slowly and create less metabolic turbulence after meals. Basmati rice fits naturally into this pattern because it provides energy without causing the sharp glucose spikes that many refined carbohydrates produce. Another subtle advantage of basmati rice is its texture and aroma. The grains cook light and fluffy, which makes smaller portions surprisingly satisfying. This matters because portion control plays a major role in mineral intake and overall kidney workload. When people feel satisfied with moderate servings instead of oversized plates, the body receives enough fuel without unnecessary dietary stress. The best way to use basmati rice is simple and practical. Rinse the grains before cooking. Keep the portion moderate and pair it with steamed vegetables, leafy greens, and lean protein like chicken or fish. This combination slows digestion even further and helps maintain balanced energy levels throughout the day. Before we move on, I'm curious, have you ever tried basmati rice this way, paired with vegetables and lean protein instead of heavy sauces? If you have, let me know in the comments below. I read as many of them as I can, and your experience might help someone else make a healthier choice tonight. But here's something most people still don't realize. Even though basmati rice can help stabilize blood sugar and support kidney-friendly meals, there's another type of rice sitting in many kitchens right now that can be surprisingly gentle on digestion, especially for older adults. And the way it affects the body might be even more important than people think. And that brings us to the third rice, one that millions of households already cook every week, yet very few people realize how important it can be for comfort and digestion. Jasmine rice. At first, it may seem almost identical to other white rice varieties, but jasmine rice has a unique texture and cooking quality that makes it especially gentle on the body. Because it is milled, much of the potassium and phosphorus found in the outer layers of the grain is removed, leaving a rice that is naturally lower in these minerals compared with many whole grain options. For kidneys that are already working harder than normal, this can make everyday meals easier to process. But the real advantage of jasmine rice is something most people notice immediately when they eat it: its soft, slightly sticky texture when cooked properly. For younger adults, texture might seem like a small detail. For older adults, however, it can make a meaningful difference. Foods that are easier to chew and digest require less energy from the digestive system. And when digestion becomes smoother, the body can redirect energy toward maintaining fluid balance and supporting the kidney's filtration work. I once spoke with an older patient named Linda who had begun avoiding many foods because they left her feeling bloated and uncomfortable. Rice was one of the few things she still enjoyed, but she didn't realize that choosing soft, well-cooked jasmine rice in moderate portions, paired with vegetables and a small amount of lean protein, could make her meals both satisfying and easier on her stomach. Within weeks, she told me something simple but powerful. My meals feel lighter again. There's also an important scientific detail people often misunderstand. Jasmine rice has a moderate to higher glycemic index compared with basmati rice. At first, that might sound like a disadvantage, but the truth is that blood sugar response doesn't depend on rice alone. It depends on how the rice is eaten. Research in nutrition science shows that combining carbohydrates with fiber-healthy fats and protein can significantly slow glucose absorption. In other words, when jasmine rice is eaten alongside steamed vegetables, leafy greens, and lean protein, like fish or chicken, the body absorbs the energy more gradually. This helps prevent the sharp glucose spikes that can stress blood vessels over time, including those that support kidney filtration. Another benefit of jasmine rice is its natural aroma. Because the flavor is already rich and satisfying, people often feel content with smaller portions, which naturally reduces the total mineral load and overall dietary stress on the body. Small portions, simple ingredients, and balanced meals. These are the quiet habits that help the body function smoothly day after day. Preparation also matters more than people think. Rinsing jasmine rice several times before cooking helps remove excess starch from the surface of the grains. Cooking it with enough water allows the rice to become tender instead of dense. These small steps create a texture that is lighter, easier to digest, and more comfortable for people who may already feel fatigue or digestive sensitivity. And this leads to a bigger realization. Protecting your kidneys rarely comes from dramatic diets or extreme restrictions. More often, it comes from small daily choices repeated over years. The type of rice you choose, the portion you eat, and the way you prepare it. When meals are balanced and gentle on the body, the kidneys can focus on their most important job, filtering toxins and maintaining the body's internal balance. But here's something most people still overlook. Even when you choose the right type of rice, one common daily habit can quietly cancel out many of these benefits and place hidden pressure on your kidneys over time. Before we finish, I want to leave you with something important to remember. Your kidneys do not suddenly fail overnight. In most cases, their strength changes slowly over time, shaped by thousands of small choices we make every day, what we eat, how we prepare our meals, and the habits we repeat without even thinking. The encouraging news is that protecting your kidneys does not always require extreme diets or complicated plans. Often it begins with simple adjustments like choosing foods that are easier for your body to process, keeping portions balanced, and building meals that support steady energy instead of placing unnecessary stress on your system. Small decisions repeated consistently can make a meaningful difference in how your body feels months and even years from now. If you found this information helpful, I encourage you to save this video so you can return to it whenever you need a reminder about simple kidney-friendly food choices. You may also want to share it with someone you care about because many people quietly struggle with kidney health without realizing that everyday foods can influence how their body functions. And if you would like to keep learning practical research-based ways to support your kidneys and overall health, take a moment to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Here we regularly share clear, reliable medical insights designed to help you make better decisions for your body and your future. Most importantly, remember this. Your body has an incredible ability to adapt and respond when you begin giving it the support it needs. Even small improvements in your daily routine can help your kidneys work more comfortably and efficiently over time. So start with one change, stay consistent, and take care of yourself, because protecting your health today is one of the most valuable investments you can make for the years ahead.